Welcome to Cryptic Accounts, a podcast by paranoid people for paranoid people. And this week on the show, we have CERN and the Large Hadron Collider. I'm Patrick Ryan, joined by Dennis Cheney. Hi, Dennis.
Hello, Patrick.
Oh, man. So I think this may be one of my most out there topics, I think. I feel like I've been the more grounded one in my topics.
Sometimes, yeah. I'd say overall, I'm pretty pumped for this, though. I want to see how out there you can get.
I mean, I guess Men in Black was a little out there, but I mean, the UFO stuff I've done has all been pretty confirmed. I mean, Nimitz, we've got the government telling us that it's real. So
Yeah, that's on Fox News. I mean, that's,
yeah, there's
and it's true if it's on Fox News. I don't know why that was my go-to.
I don't know why either. That was a really weird go-to of all the things to like legitimize. But I guess, if Fox is confirming UFOs, it's probably real.
Yeah, I mean, I would say up until now, Men in Black has been the weirdest.
That has probably,
and that you've done anyway. I think I've out weirded you so far, but
yeah, I went out there a little bit on this one. There's a lot of opinions on and thoughts about what may be going on at the Large Hadron Collider. So I don't know. You ready to get into this?
Let's do it, my friend.
All right. As always, all our source information can be found on the sources tab on the website, crypticaccounts.com. And I have at least one video up from this that's going to be up there. So check that out. But yeah, that'll be under the videos tab. So the Large Hadron Collider, it's at the it resides at the European Organization for Nuclear Research, which still goes by CERN, which actually was derived from a French saying that's basically Council of the European Nuclear Research. For some reason, they really like CERN, and there was a whole weird area around why people think they kept that name, and there's so many other weird things that I kind of brushed past that.
Interesting.
It's actually in Geneva, Switzerland. It opened in 2008. With the first beam circulated on September 10th of that year. The goal of any collider is to accelerate particles at incredible speeds, smashing them together, and detecting the results of those collisions.
And we've talked about this in other episodes, some studies they've done there.
Has it come up on this show?
It has come up it's come up a couple times when we talked about like the mirrored universe theory.
Okay.
Or the time going backwards. But we never really got into what it is, or we just treated it as another laboratory.
And I feel like I meant to note it. I'll when we come back across, I'm pretty sure there's some overlap in this episode accidentally into other episodes we've done, which just somehow keeps happening unintentionally.
I know. Well, you know what? I think if we're all looking for some kind of unified theory behind all this stuff or worldview, I mean, that's probably a good thing that we're.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't think it's a bad thing that things keep on overlapping with each other. It just always surprises me when it does.
Yeah.
So, what scientists hope to find by doing these, really fast collisions, smashing particles together, they want to find new particles and reactions, new information on how exactly the universe works on fundamental levels. So the first true collision didn't happen until 2010 when the LHC first began operations. It reached a combined energy level of 7 tera-electrovolts, or TeVs. It's been upgraded over the years, most recently reaching 13 TeVs, reportedly the present world record.
I assume that's a lot. That's a lot of energy. Okay.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to go up way past that too.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I remember, Pat, when they turned that on in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's going to create a black hole and destroy the world."
They turned it on in 2008.
Okay, well, whenever either one of those.
2008 was when they first starting it up, and then it starts doing stuff really in 2009. They had their first successful collision in 2010.
So I think it was 2008 then, like you said, September. I remember I was at grad school, and I remember I literally stayed up that night on the phone with my fiance at the time, And just because I was scared it was going to cause a black hole, I was like, I just want to talk to you until like we know, we literally stayed up until like half an hour after they turned it on.
Yeah, yeah, I remember when that was that was a little bit of a scare there. And that's still not completely out of the realm of possibilities as they continue to get this thing to grow larger and larger and larger, going faster and faster and faster. Um, so the greatest achievement, legitimately, of the LHC so far is probably the discovery of the Higgs boson. Um, as CERN themselves reported on July 4th, 2012, the ATLAS and CMS experiments at CERN's Large Hadron Collider announced they had each observed a new particle in the mass region around 125 GeV. The particle was consistent with the Higgs boson, which has to do with the mass of a particle. And in 2013, Francois Englert and Peter Higgs, who had theorized this in the 1960s, received the Nobel Prize in Physics for the discovery. So this thing is what's more commonly known, even though physicists don't really like the name. This is, when you hear the term God particle, that's what they're talking about.
Right, yes.
It's an elementary particle in the standard model of particle physics. It's produced by quantum excitation of the Higgs field, and one of the fields in particle physics theory.
And I believe it's the reason they call it the God particle is because it's the particle that gives other particles mass.
Basically, yeah.
Which is kind of wild if you think.
And I didn't want to get too bogged down because, I mean, believe it or not, I'm not that keen on astrophysics. I don't know.
I'm not.
I don't readily just grasp that concept and able to explain it to other people.
I know. My first question when I heard about that, I was just like, okay, so then what if a thing doesn't have okay, I'll just take your word for it.
Yeah, that's why I just wanted to touch on that. That's kind of what it is. This could get real boring real quick, though, trying to delve into explaining that. However, aside from scientific breakthroughs at CERN, many believe there's more afoot there than simple forays into particle physics. Some believe they're busy at work attempting to or accidentally opening portals.
Portals, eh?
Yeah, portals to other dimensions, maybe other realities, and possibly the gates of hell.
Oh, wow, we got Doom going on here.
You know what? Actually, when I was watching videos about it, and then I heard the whole thoughts on people thinking that they may be trying to somehow open up basically the gates of hell, it looks a lot like some stuff I've seen in Doom, honestly. Like the machines and stuff, like in more recent Dooms that have come out in recent years. Like, there's some stuff in that game that I'd played through, and when I saw the collider going and stuff, I was like, wow, this really looks like, did Doom copy this, or did this copy Doom?
I'm going to assume Doom copied it.
Probably.
You know they're not up there in Iceland like, oh, yes, we should make our particle beam look like Doom. I'm terrible at accents. I apologize to everyone that had to hear that.
I mean, as you should. So in June of 2016, a series of incredible photos of the skies above CERN appeared online, courtesy of photographer Christoph Suarez. So coincidentally, or perhaps not, the images were captured only 10 days after the AWAKE experiments, our Advanced Wake Field Experiment, began in its facility at CERN on June 16, 2016. In response, some claimed that the LHC had generated a portal above Geneva. The images were, after all, pretty extraordinary. Towering dark clouds filled with lightning and rainstorms underneath.
Whoa.
And it's just the photographs that got taken are incredible, but just really weird. The one from the photographer took from the ground, like the clouds look purple in a way I've never seen in actual real life.
Well, what do the scientists say? What do they say it is? Do they just say it's a coincidence?
Yeah, well, this is actually one I could. CERN has responded to a lot of criticism about all this stuff, and I couldn't really find much of a response to them about any of this.
They're either just so over it because they're so smart and they're just like, these people, or they're legit like opening portals.
Well, as we get into this, I think we'll have more of an opinion on what the lack of a response there might be. So, indeed, many such claims have been made over the years. In 2015, Yahoo News reported on footage of an alleged vortex forming over Geneva, what they referred to as a UFO gateway. In the footage, clouds swirl into a point as if it were a black hole, and a number of small bright orbs can be seen entering it. The vortex then vanishes. The UFO portal had allegedly erupted directly over the Large Hadron Collider. Unfortunately, despite media coverage, it's believed this footage is CGI, and it's labeled as that everywhere, but I haven't seen it. I couldn't find anything that was actually breaking down why it was CGI.
Interesting.
Multiple people agreed with it, but then it's called a hoax everywhere.
Okay.
So I mention it, but like I'm saying, most of these big ones, like they come out and they basically discredit the whole thing and then move on. And you're going to find this is a theme with all these kind of stories about CERN and the Hadron Collider.
But no actual, like, here's how you can tell, here's the...
Nope.
Huh.
You can find any explanation on it, which usually you can find breakdowns on stuff like that. So take that one with a grain of salt. Another alleged portal over Geneva is a little harder to argue with because it shows up on radar. On July 5th, 2016, this one in the form of clouds that created a ring when looked at on radar. So all around Geneva, almost centered over where the collider is, there's just it's just a perfect ring of clouds almost. I mean, you can see it in the notes, Dennis.
Yeah, no, I know. That's just nuts.
And that one's I find a little bit harder to dispute because, again, it was on radar.
Now, does anyone dispute that one?
I couldn't find anything really disputing that one.
Okay. So...
And the thing is, this cloud portal coincided with an emergency shutdown of the Large Hadron Collider, which happened after a weasel hopped onto a substation fence and bumped into a transformer, chewed on some power wires, knocked out the power.
A weasel?
Well, it was actually a ferret.
Oh, so let's say weasel.
Like everything I read, like they kept flip-flopping back and forth between weasel and ferret. I'm like, I thought weasel was a separate thing, and then I saw a picture. I'm like, that's a ferret. Why are we saying weasel right now? But I like it. Sorry.
I thought maybe they're the same thing.
Maybe they are.
I'm not a scientist, but I have weasel and a ferret.
I don't know small snake-eating varmints, really.
I just know they got to stay out of my house.
That's right.
So the weasel opened the portal, then?
Well, it shut the thing down abruptly,
which might have caused this portal. Oh, that's freaky.
Yes. And this at least was true. A weasel did hop the fence and was unfortunately electrocuted by the said transformer. It was eventually stuffed and put on display at the Rotterdam Natural History Museum in the Dead Animal Tales exhibition.
So I think you explained to me, are you going to get into why there was a weasel at a high-tech, one of the most secure places on Earth?
Yes. See, the thing is, they used ferrets to clean tubing within the collider because they had such a hard time like keeping these things completely clean. When they clean them, like cleaning agents would like leave behind residue that would then cause problems. But turns out a ferret's fur, I guess, picks up all that kind of stuff.
Dirty ferrets.
And then he had like a brush behind him to like pick up any hair, I guess, that he left.
What in the world?
How they came up with that, I don't know. And I probably could have spent more time on that. But, yep, that's what's going on there. I don't know if they're still doing it or not. I'm assuming they are.
They moved on to hedgehogs?
Maybe. they might have moved on to hedgehogs. So, something a bit peculiar for a scientific research facility, especially this one, is a roughly 6 foot tall statue of Shiva portrayed doing a dance of destruction. In the front lawn of the CERN facility where the Large Hadron Collider resides. Shiva is known in the Hindu religion as the Destroyer, within the Trimurti, the Hindu trinity that includes Brahma and Vishnu. However, for the Illuminati, the term destruction as it relates to Shiva's cosmic duties can be deceiving because often Lord Shiva destroys also negative presence such as evil, ignorance, and death.
So she's like, I'm just going to say it sounds kind of satanic, just a little bit.
Yeah, it does. I believe I put it. Oh, you'll see a picture here in a minute.
No offense to my Hindu friends. That just seems like a weird thing to have in Switzerland?
Yeah.
Now, what was it that there was a Manhattan Project scientist who has a famous quote. Did he say, "I have become Shiva"? No, that was another one. Never mind.
No, we're gonna get to that in a minute. I think okay. I know what quote you're talking about, and I'm pretty sure I included it. Okay. So some believe CERN and some believe the New World Order built this institution and accepted this statue from India due to the popularity the image had acquired among the Illuminati elite and many physicists in the last century. The de Broglie theory and Max Planck's theories, the dual nature of matter, are a common concept in Saiva Siddhantam, and almost all Tamil Siddhars have strong beliefs on the dual nature of matter and a parallel universe, multi-universe, and wormholes. The simple concept is that humans don't live or die. We just appear in many universes at the same time in different dimensions. And this is the most common foundation for Siddha Shastrams in the Hindu faith. More disturbingly, a photo posted on Twitter over a year ago in 2019 by the head of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, man, his name's hard to say, reveals to the world the presence of the same image of Shiva the Destroyer, so dear to the dark side of the Illuminati during an important meeting between the World Health Organization and a large Chinese organization, which their whole means or purpose is to try and help China dominate the world market.
Why? Okay. That seems pretty, I mean, that is very strange. I mean, that'd be like if at some UN meeting they had like a giant cross. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems...
Yes.
What is it about that particular god?
Well, the presence of this religious statue overseeing the event seems even more disturbing, especially after the latest events involving the novel coronavirus. The photo was posted in January 2019 on the Twitter feed of Tedros, who has served as the Director General of the World Health Organization since 2017. The fact the Hindu goddess Shiva the Destroyer was so prominently displayed at the head of the table during this important meeting leads one to believe that maybe secret organizations and those looking to influence the world are using it as a different sort of symbol. Hinduism is not one of the 5 religions recognized by the Chinese government, so it's not known why the statue of a Hindu deity would be displayed at a meeting with a bunch of Chinese officials.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the weirdest part.
That's the weirdest part about this, because CERN has made a lot of, like, they basically explained that they have it there because India is one of their partners in this, along with the U.S. and Russia, and it was a gift from them. And
it's not mine, Mom.
Like this,
it's a gift.
This thing is actually a symbol of like the circle of life, where this thing is creating life, but then on the other hand, it's destroying everything. So it kind of sends a mixed message.
Yeah, the Chinese thing's very bizarre.
Yes.
I mean, not only...
But I mean, you're looking at the picture. That is a table of pretty much all Chinese business people with this thing at the head of the table.
And China and India don't even get along, just
No.
as people. Yeah,
No.
that's...
So it's very weird that, again, and China's not real big on religion in general.
No.
Let alone religions that they don't even allow.
Well, yeah, they're definitely not big on religions they don't allow.
Yeah, they are
That's
not
just,
big on that. They will put you in camp and kill you.
That's the thing. You think if you're having this meeting, you don't need a statue of a god there. You could just have nothing.
Unless this is some sort of symbol for you.
Exactly.
So back to the quote you were talking about. J. Robert Oppenheimer, known as the father of the atomic bomb, for his work on bombs dropped on Japan at the end of World War II, reciting a quote referring to Shiva from the Hindu text, the Bhagavad Gita, at the time of the... How do you say it?
Actually, you know what? I used to, before you just butchered it to my ears, I used to be able to say that perfectly. Bhagavad Gita, I think.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
I feel bad every time I'm like, I honestly try before we do this and it doesn't matter. So at the time of the first atomic bomb being dropped in 1945, he said, quote, I become death, the destroyer of worlds. Oppenheimer said during this historical occasion, the image becomes even more disturbing when considering the past of its Twitter host, Tedros, from the World Health Organization. Tedros' candidacy for the World Health Organization Director General was opposed vigorously by several Ethiopian parties due to his career in Tigray People's Liberation Front, the most powerful of the armed liberation movements in Ethiopia, with decidedly Marxist ideologies and an abysmal record of human rights violations.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
That's who you want at the head of things for World Health, right? A Marxist?
Yeah, the World Health. Yeah, I mean, I think we've learned anything during this coronavirus.
Marxist doctors, honestly. All my healthcare professionals, hardline Marxist. That's just how I roll.
Yep, I prefer my doctors to be communists.
That's right.
Yeah, I think if we learn anything during this coronavirus thing about who it's so corrupt.
Yeah,
the way they covered for China. Yeah.
So a video concurrently published to YouTube and the Facebook page Stranger Than Fiction News on August 11th, 2016, purportedly depicting a human sacrifice carried out by researchers at the European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN.
What? Okay, yeah, you're getting out there this time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I watched the video. It's something. I will post that video as well.
Okay, I need to go look that up.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So the video included commentary from a narrator who's like standing at a window, and he's just standing there and he's talking, and these people in black robes start walking out. I believe if you scroll down, I have a picture of it. So that's and I will post the video so you can see what I'm talking about. So he's inside watching this, and open only to and so this facility is secured, and it's open only to individuals with proper security clearance. Not anybody can just walk up on this lawn.
Right. And
that person filming the video obfuscated his or her involvement with the sacrifice in order to deliberately leak the footage. So that's how we knew. This is how this person supposedly knew it was going to happen. They were supposed to be involved in this.
So they're like some kind of scientist who's also deep undercover as like a Christian or something.
Well, I mean, yeah, to be there, and we're going to get into who all could have been there. So the grainy violence at the end of the clip appeared to be authentic. Okay, so at the end of the clip, one of the people walks forward, takes the robe off. It's like a woman in all white. She lays down on the ground, and then another member pulls out a knife and stabs her several times in the chest. And then the guy filming runs after that.
Are there any... So he got away. Did he get chased?
They don't see him. He's inside a building on like the second floor.
Oh, I see. Are there any? That makes me wonder. Are there any like missing CERN women scientists?
Well,
Uh-oh.
so, well, the rumor. Okay, so the rumor predictably and rapidly made its way to conspiracy peddlers and social media groups devoted to promulgating similar rumors, and the evidence presented in the video relating to the CERN facility led some social media users to wonder whether there was any chance the clip was real as described. It didn't help that CERN and its Large Hadron Collider uh, are conspiracy magnets in general, like we've been talking about, and they've already previously prompted suggestions scientists working at the facility caused earthquakes or inadvertently opened UFO portals, as we talked about earlier. Um, Over the years, CERN and the LHC have been the subject of claims the accelerator could spawn black holes, trigger catastrophic chain of reactions in the very fabric of space and time itself, which would rip apart the entire universe. Just generally kill us all, dangerously unveil the existence of multiverses, summon the Antichrist, or open a portal to hell. An article about the hell claim delves into why CERN is often the subject of terrifying rumors, despite a notable dearth of black holes or hell portals amidst ongoing research. So, according to The Guardian, this was a hoax, this whole sacrifice thing. And CERN itself launched an investigation to find out who was responsible. According to their report, it was pranking scientists. But some details revealed in the human sacrifice video about the latest rumor also aren't secrets at all, and the CERN social media frequently asked questions page takes a crack at alleviating fears surrounding the facility. In one answer, CERN confirmed the presence of a statue of Shiva honoring a relationship with India that dates back half a century.
Hold on 1 second, Pat. When you say pranking scientists, are they saying that CERN scientists did that video as a joke?
Yes. Or somebody that was visiting CERN. They have a bunch of people that go in and out of CERN, and we're going to get into that. I have a bunch of stuff that CERN basically wrote in response to these things that are going on.
Okay, so they admit that it was filmed at CERN.
Yes.
Okay.
But they never come out with who it was. They never supposedly figure any of this out. It was pranking scientists, you guys. You know.
It's like special effects. You know those scientists, they love to play jokes like they're doing human sacrifices with special effects and okay.
So I'll give you that explanation here in a minute. What I want to do first is to kind of give you why they say they have the Shiva statue. So according to CERN, the Shiva statue was a gift from India to celebrate its association with CERN, which started in the 1960s and remains strong today. In the Hindu religion, Lord Shiva practiced Natara, the Natara dance, which symbolizes Shakti or life force. This deity was chosen by the Indian government because of a metaphor that was drawn between the cosmic dance and the modern study of the cosmic dance of the cosmic dance of subatomic particles.
India buy that. I think I could buy that. Keep going.
Well, I got some other weird stuff to tell you about.
Okay.
Dancing in CERN. India is one of CERN's observer states, along with the U.S., Russia, and Japan, as I'd said earlier. CERN is a multicultural organization that welcomes scientists from more than 100 countries and 680 institutions. The Shiva statue is only one of the many statues and art pieces at CERN. So that's their explanation. Weird side note, did you ever hear about the movie Symmetry?
No.
I believe it was from a French director. I didn't want to delve too far into it because it's just weird. So they did like an interpretive dance at the Large Hadron Collider and filmed it. But it looked very ritualistic what they're doing. Also, a bunch of the actual scientists and stuff that work at CERN are in it. Like they are dancing around their own facility.
What? Okay. What is that? The movie Symmetry?
Yes.
It's a dance video?
It's a dance movie. Like it's like interpretive dance, like telling a story. But I watched some clips of it, and I can even I'll put up the trailer for it because that's just watching that is enough to make you go, why did you
Is
guys
it the
do that?
length of a feature film?
I believe so.
It's just 2 hours of scientists dancing at
I don't know if
CERN?
it's that long, but it's yeah.
That's just weird. Okay.
Yes, just, and again, I didn't go into it because I'm like, this is just I don't know what else to say about this. Just
I
odd.
know. This is
Why?
just weird.
Because that's what happens. You've heard about that. Large telescope facilities and stuff. They obviously do dances around the telescopes all the time. That's
And they
normal.
do fake human sacrifices.
Oh yeah, all the time.
And everywhere they travel with a Baphomet. Yeah, this is just, it's just like just the, oh yeah, and you know how also at telescopes there's like bizarre portals that open up above it.
Yeah. So back to the human sacrifice video. And this is on CERN's frequently asked questions page. It addresses the video specifically, contradicts claims of absolute facility lockdown, and discourages such pranks. And the question posed to them was, I have seen a video of a strange ritual at CERN. Is it real? CERN response, no, this video is a work of fiction. CERN fills up with visitors over the summer, with users from across the world who come to CERN as part of their work, and some of whom occasionally let their sense of humor go too far. And this is what happened on this occasion. CERN does not condone this kind of spoof. A spokesperson for CERN also said that the video was a prank that appeared on the internet for the first time in August 2016, and added with respect to rumors and imaginative theories about the facility, the type of fundamental research performed at CERN brings together a large group of community of physics from more than 600 countries and 500 institutions. For example, in the United States alone, there are 1,700 physicists from 7 national laboratories and 94 U.S. universities who are part of the Large Hadron Collider research program. This fundamental research pushes the boundaries of knowledge and is helping to better understand the fundamental principles of physics and the evolution of matter in the universe. Because the research pushes its unknown scientific territory into unknown scientific territory, some theoretical physicists think the LHC research might reveal previously unknown properties of nature, such as the existence of microscopic extra dimensions or particles that don't interact with ordinary matter, called dark sector particles. The research performed at CERN captures the imagination of theorists, scientists, students, artists, and creative thinkers, which is why CERN has been featured in books like Angels and Demons by Dan Brown and in article installations around the world. These imaginative and creative works, inspired by scientific research, are works of fiction generated to capture the reader's views, the views of the sense of wonder, and should not be confused with actual scientific research. So as you can see, they completely just explained what happened with that human sacrifice, right, Dennis? You feel satisfied, right?
Yeah, you know what? You know what?
Feel
You
like
got a bunch of weird.
a little bit there.
You got a bunch of weird grad students going up there in the summer. Okay, that's.
And then just kind of started talking about other stuff. I'm like, this was exact, like that was verbatim what they put on their page.
That was literally so rambling. It's like, well, first of all, yeah, that's real. That's from here. But there's a lot of people that come around here, and Dan Brown and like RoboCop, like a lot of art, like the Mona Lisa, people like things. It's like Greek myths, everything. So, yep, that's our answer.
So you feel completely satisfied though, right? Like you understand that was obviously fake, debunked.
I feel like with something like a murder, I feel like if you really want to debunk it, you would go and get your security to like pull the videotapes from they gotta have security cameras and stuff.
Video footage. Yeah.
They could even out the people who did it and be like, okay, well, on that date and time, this group was there. Here's who we think is in the video. Here's who we think the woman is. Here's who we think you know what I mean? Like they could really, you're talking about a possible murder. You can't just be like, yeah, it's a prank. If I made a video where I was fake murdering you and I uploaded it somewhere, I'm pretty sure cops would come knocking on the door.
You would think so.
And I wouldn't be like, oh, Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock, I doubt they would accept that answer.
So the only other thing that they said was, well, CERN's grounds are flooded with internet. Again, CERN's grounds are flooded with international visitors during the summer, many of whom are aware of the entrenched conspiracy theorists and who hop to make light of the rumors. Did I already say that?
I mean, look, I'm not saying. I mean, honestly, that's Occam's razor tells you like something that extreme should be a prank. But like, the problem is like, again, due to how extreme it is, like you know, it wouldn't take that much for them to just show the evidence that it's fake.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are no security cameras at this facility. You have people walking in and out all summer long that you let in there, and you're not nothing's no
Also,
security.
like, if people are walking in, like, obviously people aren't just walking in and out because it's not like a tourist just like
No.
walked through this fake sacrifice. Like, they obviously had the place to themselves in some
Yes.
way. I don't like it.
See, and this is what kind of made me hesitant to cover all this because every weird thing pretty much that comes out of this place, they shoot down in some way, but not really in a convincing way, much like this.
I mean, I mean, again, I'm not. I don't know. I'm like 50-50 on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, the explanation makes sense, but I mean, it's just so half-hearted. Like, I could see someone pulling that prank, especially like college people or grad
Yeah.
students or something. But it's just like, that's not really evidence. They're just saying it's a prank.
Yeah.
So
They don't really narrow it
yeah,
down at
I
all
don't
for
know.
you to make you feel any better about it.
If anything, you think they call up whatever institution these people are from and be like, all right, can you guys just come clean? Like, or we're not going to let you back at CERN. We can't have like fake
I mean,
murderers
that would
here.
be all you'd need to do is, well, you can't come back here anymore
Yeah, or at
unless you
least just
apologize
say,
for this.
right.
Apologize, admit you did it, admit that it's fake, maybe show us the girl that supposedly got killed.
Yeah, do something that doesn't let this rumors run wild.
So, to quote the plaque adjacent to the statue where this supposed ritual took place, the Natahara in Ananda Tandava shows him dancing the universe into existence, sustaining it with his rhythm and dancing it into extinction. Creation is sparked by the vibration of the drum in his right hand, protection of the sustenance by the open palm of the front right arm, a gesture of assurance that grants freedom from fear. The fire in the left arm dissolves the universe, while the front left arm points downward to the lifted left leg, the solace of the worlds.
Mm.
So, as conspiracies go, some have taken the presence of this statue to mean something beyond its obvious symbolism. Using scientific research as a facade, the Large Hadron Collider is actually an attempt to create a stargate, according to some, a portal to another world, or possibly another time.
Well, let me ask you this. We know what they have discovered. What else are they looking to discover? Have they come out and been like, here's the things or are they just like, we're just going to keep bashing stuff together and
Well, they're
taking notes?
currently, and I think I get into it a little bit later, it's not actually running right now. They are actually upgrading it. It won't come back online until next year, 2021, which is good. Like, we don't
we don't need no CERN activity in 2020. Yeah, we have enough weirdness.
Keep the ferrets in their cages. Don't even think about touching the power button.
Give them a year off.
So, and then by 2025 is supposed their next upgrade is supposed to be fully up and running. I think I have later in my notes how much power. It's going up from like it's almost doubling what it was doing before, I believe.
Wow.
The 1300 or 13 TVs. Anyway, so in 2008, before the Large Hadron Collider awoke for the first time, there were rumblings in the media that such a thing could be possible. The portals, the other times, and you were kind of talking about this. You stayed up that night.
Yeah.
Mathematical physicists Irina Arefeva and Igor Vovovic suggested that the LHC could become powerful enough to warp space-time and create wormholes, allowing time travel back to the moment the machine was turned on. But even that is tame compared to what comes next. And what comes next, according to this theory, is the Anunnaki. Wow.
Oh no, not them.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they're the gods of is it Samaria or
Mesopotamia.
ancient Mesopotamia? Yeah, who supposedly gave yeah.
They gave ancient astronaut theorists raised another possibility that the Anunnaki are a race of extraterrestrials who visited Earth long ago and meddled in the affairs of our ancient cultures.
It's kind of similar to the Nephilim in a way.
Yep, that
Yeah.
is exactly what I was thinking.
Which, if our audience doesn't know, we did an episode on them being aliens/demons.
That came down to Earth in the Book of Genesis and crossbreeded with humans and created giants and whatnot.
Gave us weapons of war.
So if you haven't listened to that one,
makeup,
that's
which is always a weird.
Nephilim and the human hybrid theory is a great episode to scroll back to. So, Shiva, as fate would have it, is thought by some to be one of these Anunnaki. And the statue of Shiva that lies outside CERN, it reveals a dark, dark secret. The scientists at CERN they might be more than mere researchers. They might just be members of a doomsday cult, agents of the Anunnaki using ancient technology to create a stargate that will allow the old gods to return to our planet.
It's going down.
And this is just a theory, though. Another is the Natahara was placed outside CERN in an attempt to appease the gods in fear that the LHC would bring about the end of the world. Others
That
still...
one,
What's that?
I would totally buy. That one I would totally buy. Like, I could totally see, like, let's say India really did give it as a gift, but they're like, let's go ahead and make it something that might appease the gods.
You know what? And that would be an explanation I would probably be more accepting of.
Yeah. Well, on the Stargate theory, though.
Circle of life, you guys.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some holy water on this just in case. Like, why would the old gods need us to build the portal? Why wouldn't they build their own portal?
Well, that's a good question. I don't have an answer for it.
I
think maybe they're trying to get them to return. I'm not saying these things need us to go get them, because obviously if that's true, they came here once on their own.
Oh, maybe it's like a summoning ritual or something.
Yeah, we're like trying to get them to come back because if you believe that, you believe that these Anunnaki gave us a bunch of advancements in early civilization.
Right. So maybe
they've been gone for whatever, thousands of years. If we could get them to come back, imagine what they've done since the last time they were here and what they could potentially give us this time.
That'd be funny if they came back and they just like wanted to teach us how to make pyramids. Like, no, we already know this stuff.
We made better pyramids, you guys. They're way better.
Have you figured out makeup yet? We can teach you how to make cool swords. Oh man.
Look, we've just kind of been coasting since we came and saw you guys, honestly. Like, you were going to catch up, we'd come back, you'd have some stuff for us, but no, you want us to come up with everything.
Thanks a lot. Pretty much all we can do is the portal. Other than that,
yeah.
Others
still believe that the LHC may in fact be an attempted portal to the underworld or hell itself. As Metro reported in January 2017, some bloggers online believe that CERN's experiments are in fact an attempt to build the kingdom of the Antichrist, who will eventually step through the portal and rule our planet.
Dude, maybe the Antichrist is a ferret.
It's like a super ferret that gets stuck.
Yeah, what if that like ferret was sacrificed by the other ferrets to summon the anti-ferret?
That might be. So, another story related to the strange activity in the skies above CERN is the incident from November 2009 when an Iberworld Airbus A330 allegedly vanished temporarily. As the story goes, the plane was carrying 170 passengers and had been heading towards Santa Cruz, Bolivia, when it seemingly disappeared mid-flight.
From radar or from sight?
Both. Period. Vanished.
Oh, okay.
The plane was then reported to reappear roughly 5,500 miles away at the Tenerife North Airport on the island of Tenerife in the Canary Islands.
Whoa. Was it instant, or was there time elapsed, or?
Very little time. Not enough time for it to have traveled 5,500 miles.
This was 2009?
Yes.
Have they interviewed anyone on these flights?
Again, can't find a whole lot else about it.
Okay.
Continue,
sir.
I didn't find anything that was like, hey, we found this person. No, it's just.
Well, you think you would be talking to every single person who was on that plane.
It didn't get talked about very much at all in 2009, actually. Like, do you remember hearing about this in 2009 at all?
No. I mean, I remember some plane crashes earlier on last decade that were mysterious, like the Malaysian one. I know, or like missing. Well, there was that Malaysian one that went missing. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna get into okay. So, some believe CERN's LHC may have been the culprit of this mysterious turn of events, given that it had just begun circulating beams the previous year and was preparing to do so again. Prior to November 2009, the LHC had temporarily been out of commission due to a malfunction dubbed the Quench Incident, which occurred on September 19, 2008. Liquid helium vented into the collider's tunnel, damaging 53 superconducting magnets. Purveyors of the Airbus theory believe that the strange event may have happened during the preparations for the LHC's relaunch in early November 2009.
You know, they say that they use large magnets to do the Philadelphia experiment, which was essentially the same phenomenon, that the ship disappeared and showed up at some other random dock.
Yep.
Huh. Okay.
And that's one I don't think we've talked about on this show yet, but that's definitely
something we haven't.
I want to get into at some point. I know we've batted it around between us as just something fascinating, but that's something I definitely want to look into more. So according to this theory, scientists at CERN had accidentally produced some kind of time warp during one of the LHC's startups. They immediately shut everything down. The LHC machine coordinator, Dr. Mike Lamond, said officially that the shutdown had been caused by a bird that dropped a bit of baguette, causing the magnets to heat up, almost resulting in another Quench incident. A bird dropped some bread on it, Dennis.
How would you even know that? What, did they search this whole place and find a baguette?
Apparently. That's the official statement from CERN.
It's almost like they're mocking us. That's just...
Yeah, that's how I feel about a lot of their explanation for them. Like, are you guys just messing with us now? Like, that's really a bird?
A bird dropped a piece of bread? Well, first of all, if it's that fragile, what about bird poop? Like, this stuff's just out in the open? Like,
that's what I was confused about, too.
I mean, go to a Walmart parking lot, look for how much bird poop is, like, on cars, and, like, how could it not be shutting down all the time?
That was my question. Again, this is the explanation that was given by CERN.
CERN's one weakness, bread. We must not have bread on the magnets.
I know. I was like, that's all it takes to ruin this multi-billion-dollar machine?
Crouton?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Death by crouton. So
what about rain? Doesn't it rain there?
I don't know. I don't know, Dennis.
We need to get a CERN scientist on here. Be like, you tell us what's going on, you Illuminati.
Yeah, I'm sure that will get them on. So according to the theory, scientists at CERN accidentally produced some kind of time warp during one of the LHC startups. They immediately shut everything down. Oh, I already said that. I'm sorry. So when it was fully powered on, the LHC's two beams of protons and lead ions send protons. Hold on, I'm gonna restart this whole little sentence.
Okay.
Okay. So when fully powered on, the LHC's two beams of protons and lead ions hurtle around the huge circle at a fraction of the percent of a fraction of a percent below light speed. Each contain the energy of a Eurostar train traveling at full speed, according to the CERN site. It was this vast energy getting out of control that smashed the machine in 2009, causing a huge spillage of liquid helium and throwing two 10-ton magnets off their mountings. The succession of technical problems the LHC has suffered has led some physicists, apparently in all seriousness, to claim that it is being sabotaged by time-traveling particles from its own future.
I have heard that. That is a real theory.
I know. That's what I mean. Okay, so all the stuff they're denying, and they're like, look, but also we might have time-traveling particles coming back in time. But we're definitely not doing any. The portals above, that's silly talk, you guys.
There's also, definitely
we might be creating time portals.
Yeah. No definitely. Time portals. There was just the bird with the baguette. Well, okay, maybe a few little time portals that sabotage us from the future, but not a big time portal.
That's what I'm like, okay, so if you can get particles to come, like, okay.
To sabotage you.
Yes. But nothing else weird is going on here. Okay, guys. So that's why I had this really, like, this is why I had to just go ahead and do this episode. I'm like, I get that we can't prove some of this, but then some of the stuff that they say in reply, I'm just like, well, their answer doesn't make any sense either.
It's a good primer on the theories, on their answer. It's just good to know, especially since we talked about this lab and other physics labs and some of our other, like, time episodes especially.
So back to Airbus. There was a reason I just explained all of that. There are those in the public sector who believe that the LHC had accidentally opened a time portal. The so-called time warp, or so the story goes, was caused by the LHC distorting Earth's magnetic field, creating a time wave that reverberated through the planet's core. That wave passed through the gate of the sun, an ancient megalithic stone arch in Bolivia. It's believed by some to be an actual Stargate itself, which is a portal to other worlds. The time wave then continued until it made contact with the Iberworld Airbus, temporarily displacing it in time and space. According to the bizarre tale, all 170 passengers, along with the plane, like I said, spontaneously teleported 5,500 miles from Bolivia to the Canary Islands, where they were able to land safely, though they were all very confused.
It's a heck of a flight. Man. So, okay, go ahead.
According to the Aviation Herald, the plane was meant to perform a flight from Madrid, Barajas, Spain to Santa Cruz, Bolivia, but somehow wound up in Santa de Tenerife, Canary Islands. Reportedly, the crew had confused the two, though the story certainly leaves a lot of questions, like the time issue, mainly.
And the fact that it disappeared.
Yeah, it disappeared.
In fact, nothing has been answered.
No.
I mean, them confusing the two makes sense. I'd be super confused, too, if I, like, popped out of existence or went into a time warp.
That's what I mean. Like, also, you would have known you were in the wrong... You wouldn't have landed in the wrong place. You would have realized it and turned.
Well, planes just don't... I mean, that's an Airbus. That's a commercial plane.
Yeah.
It's not like it's just, like, two guys...
No,
like, you don't
it's not
just...
a Cessna. This is a mega plane.
Right. This is a 747, basically. You would be in communication with the different airports. You wouldn't just land. You'd be like, hey, this is Airbus flight 1450 or whatever. Like, where am I? You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't just...
Well, that's the thing. You would have had air traffic controllers saying something way before you got to the wrong place, because you'd be potentially crossing other paths that you're not supposed to cross.
And you'd especially be talking to them once you got there.
Yes,
you got to talk to them to land. Yeah, that's okay. That's very strange.
So I feel like you're not satisfied by that explanation, Dennis.
This missing plane one is probably the one I believe the most, for sure. The other stuff, like, I could see being pranks or coincidences or just normal weird stuff, or, you know, this is like, that's like hard evidence. Like, if a plane really did take off at a certain time and get to another place way before it's supposed to be there, that has to be accounted for.
And you have CERN physicists actually saying out loud to the public, yeah, we might be kind of have time traveling particles coming and messing with just us here at the lab, though. Obviously, it's not leaving this building. But
yeah, how the heck do you know? We just turned this thing on 12 years ago. You know what I mean? Like,
yep. But before we end all this, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention John Titor in a discussion about CERN and the creation of portals. Titor often discussed the nature of world lines and how time travel would be discovered through experiments at CERN. Titor's world lines were effectively timelines, branches in the multiverse, each representing the infinite possible courses of events. According to his story, CERN would go on to create micro-singularities, which would then be harnessed to essentially open portals into other world lines or timelines, allowing for backwards travel through time. What I found most interesting is how the loading screen on CERN's website reminds me a lot of what John Titor's insignia, which he shared online back in 2000, 2001, which is just kind of a weird coincidence. They like took his thing and like kind of made it their own too.
Yeah.
When he's talking about the potential of like these multiverse, it kind of seems like they kind of latch on to stuff like that, but then they like publicly distance themselves from it, which is kind of a weird back and forth they do. Like, we can't do any of that. Also, we're going to use a lot of the same symbolism as these things, but don't read too much into it, you guys.
Yeah, that's a common. See, I see that as mocking, or I don't know, or just fun. I mean, it'd be like
But these are scientists with some of the most advanced things in the world. Why are they making jokes out of stuff?
Well, I mean, hear me out here. Okay, so here's an example. So one of the space shuttles was called the Enterprise.
Okay.
Okay, so does that mean that after the Starship Enterprise? So, let's say I came up with a conspiracy theory.
You just garbled out really bad.
Oh, my apologies. So one of the U.S. space shuttles, what we built in the 70s, I don't even think we use those anymore, do we? They
I don't think so.
I think they were retired.
We're using Elon Musk rockets now.
Yeah, we've somehow gone backwards but forwards at the same time. So one of them was called the Enterprise. All right, named after the Star Trek ship, the Enterprise. All right, so let's just say I had a theory that I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I say, well, the space shuttles actually have a lot of advanced alien technology on them and stuff, and then that would allow them to travel to distant worlds while they're up there, and etc. And one of the evidences of this is, why would they name it after a goofy sci-fi show?
That isn't as much of a stretch for me. They're both human spaceships going to space.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, you could take pop culture references or religious references.
Teeter's is a lot less of a pop culture reference, though. Like, you got to be into that stuff today. You heard of John Titor?
Never. Did he base his logo off any kind of like physics diagrams or anything that could possibly been a source for the other stuff?
His is pretty simple, actually. Well, I guess CERN's is more simple than it. His is just like it's a weird circle pattern.
Okay. I don't know, man. It's just so. I don't know. To be honest, this kind of scares me a little bit. This topic kind of scares me. Like, I kind of think it's probably not true, but except for the plane thing. But if it is, then what's about ready to happen next year?
Yep.
Like, what are they gonna open up here when they like juice this thing up more?
Oh, just wait.
I mean, I was already an original CERN alarmist, and then when that didn't work out, I just kind of was like,
well,
guess I was wrong.
Maybe it's time to reset the alarms.
Just took 13 years.
So, some question whether or not the alleged strange activity surrounding CERN is deliberate, that scientists are intentionally trying to open portals to other worlds, or if it's all inadvertent, an unexpected outcome of dealing with forces we may not be able to control. That is, of course, if they've even opened any portals, but like we've been saying, I'm pretty sure they have.
Yeah, there's at least a couple portals.
Yeah,
I'm on Team Portal.
I'm on Team Portal too. whether or not CERN has ever actually opened up any portals, particle physics is in a steady march forward, and new accelerators on the horizon that will make the Large Hadron Collider look small in comparison. In January of last year, CERN officials revealed their potential plans for this time a 62-mile-long circular collider. The project, dubbed the Future Circular Collider, would cost about $10 billion. Compared to the LHC, it would be absolutely gigantic.
What is the advantage of a bigger one? Or do we get them going faster?
I don't know. I don't know if it's faster so much as more things can happen during
more energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, other particle accelerators are also in the planning stages, though it's unclear whether or not any will ever see the light of day. China is looking to create a 20-mile diameter collider, while Japan has been in talks to host the International Linear Collider.
China. So we're going to build these all over the world because you definitely need these everywhere.
Well, but none of them are going to be it's this new one that CERN's talking about building is so much bigger than all the rest of them. The Large Hadron Collider is only 17 miles long.
You know, it's interesting. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So the China one's going to be bigger than it.
It's going to be bigger than it, but CERN wants to build
It's going to build one that's like 4 times as big as that.
Yes, 62 miles. Yep.
I don't like that. When's that one going to be done?
It hasn't been started yet. The next thing on the horizon for them is the startup in 2021, which So the LHC itself is currently undergoing upgrades that will increase its luminosity by a factor of 10. The collider was shut down in 2018 for major upgrades, what the folks at CERN refer to as Long Shutdown 2. Previously, the LHC had been shut down and upgrades were performed from 2013 to 2015. So this isn't the first time that the collider has gone into hibernation. It's scheduled to run again in 2021 with the new high luminosity LHC project beginning in 2025.
Okie doke.
So the question is, as the LHC is upgraded and as we see new and more powerful accelerators built, what new mysteries of the universe will we uncover?
All they can do is discover new particles, right? Because that's the whole point. They're trying to bash things.
Well, they're trying to find these dark matter. They're trying to find more dark matter particles and reactions.
I just wonder, like, is there no other way? Because theoretically, like, I know, like, the Higgs boson, before they discovered it, they pretty much expected to discover it.
Yeah.
Because they have these models and they're like, okay, well, this is kind of a pattern, and then, like, right here there should be something. Like, is there no other way to test these theories other than causing giant chain reactions? Like, you can't, like, theorize, like, okay, let's say the Higgs boson exists. How could we utilize it, like, in a piece of technology? Let's build something that should theoretically use it to do some effect, because we know what its effect should be, right? Like, why don't they do that? Why do they have to build these giant portal-making machines?
Well, I think part of it is, because I know, and I didn't get into it on this as much, but that God particle, that dark matter, they've started figuring out how to collect very, very small amounts of it and contain it. And the explosive power of that, which is, I think, ultimately kind of what one of the things they might be going for, or what somebody who may be funding this might be going for, is you would need so little of it to create a nuclear explosion that doesn't create nuclear fallout. You could have the boom without the leftover radiation.
Oh yeah. So that's the Nephilim, man. They are helping us do this. Why do we keep making weapons like this? That's scary.
Actually, I mean, there are some other stuff that I read. there's some people that theorize that they're doing all this and trying to create these like mega weapons because they think something's getting ready to come interdimensionally or from outer space or whatever, that we're going to need something big to fight with.
We're going to have to fight it. Yeah.
Like we're going to need some kind of otherworldly weapon to be able to take these things on.
Oh boy.
And that we get it. I didn't get into that as much just because that's obviously just theory upon theory. Like that's just.
Well, I mean, we did talk about summoning the Antichrist.
I know. I didn't want to. Yeah.
Can't leave that out though.
Well,
we gotta have at least one reference to the Antichrist in every episode.
That's what I'm going for.
Man.
So that is a little bit, and man, there's so many more rumors out like this. I just kind of cherry picked a handful of ones, but there's so many different schools of thought out there on what's going on there.
Well, I found that informative. I'd heard the black hole theory, but not much of anything else. So that's really okay. So that's very interesting.
And I'm gonna make you watch the sacrificial video now, so that you can be fully creeped out.
I will do that.
But I will put all those videos up on the website under the videos tab. And yeah. So that is CERN and the Large Hadron Collider, Dennis.
Well, thank you, Pat. And in case the listeners, they're like, why isn't this Dennis's episode? I recently moved, so I really appreciate you doing the research this week. And I should be back next week with a topic of my own. But I thought this was super fascinating. And great job, Pat.
Thank you. And thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate it. Please like, rate, subscribe, tell your friends, do all the things that would make more people hear us, and we appreciate it. We will be back next week with some stuff that Dennis comes up with. So thank you all so much for listening, and bye.